Hello and welcome to a very special series on Gujarat on the big fight. It's going to be a two-part series. Today we're going to be discussing politics, next week business and economics. And this show is coming to you from Ahmedabad, from the beautiful premises of the Gujarat Vidyapeeth. It's great to be here again. Elections around the corner and all sorts of buzz around about these elections, about who's going to win, about the future of Mr. Narendra Modi, and also, very crucially, what these elections might mean for the centre. If there is a certain sort of a result for Mr. Modi, does that position him in a certain way as the BJP's prime ministerial candidate in 2014? Lots and lots to talk about, and we have a great panel with us here in Ahmedabad to do that. I'm going to start by welcoming an old friend, Devang Nanavati, BJP leader from Gujarat. It's great to have you with us, Devang, in person. Amiben Yagnik is a spokesperson of the Congress party here in Gujarat. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Deepak Kirit, spokesperson of the Gujarat Parivartan Party, which is in a sense the new kid on the block this time around, Keshubhai Patel's party. Is it going to have a major impact? Is it going to cut into BJP votes in Saurashtra? Some of the questions that we are going to be throwing at you, Deepak. Dr. Sudarshan Iyengar, Vice Chancellor of the Gujarat Vidyapeeth, thank you so much for joining us and actually for hosting us here as well. It's great to be here.
Welcome.
Siddharth Bhatt, Professor of Political Science at the Gujarat University, is a keen observer of all aspects of Gujarat politics for all these years and decades. And Hanif Lakdawala, it's great to have you with us as well, one of the best known social activists here. Let me first start off by asking you, should I start off by asking you who's going to win? I know what all of you will say, but also what is really at stake in these elections. But first, the issues in these elections, in the Gujarat election, and if you're not going to tell me, Devang, exactly how many seats who's getting, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, it's obvious that the BJP, led by Mr. Modi, is going to have a landslide victory. Of course, the exact number of seats, probably I don't have astrological skills to that extent to predict it, but I'm sure we'll come back with almost a two-third majorities once again.
Okay. Amiben Yagnik, he said it's obvious that that's what's going to happen. Do you agree?
Well, it is their view, and they think that they are going to win. But the amount of work the Congress party has done in the last several years and have come before the people of Gujarat with all that has not happened in the last several years.
What makes you feel that this time it could be different?
BJP has been harping on the word Vikas, development, and has been thrusting that word in the minds of the people of Gujarat. And what is Vikas, what is development has been shown by the Gujarat Congress this year, going to all places at grassroots levels and showing them what exactly was promised in the name of development and what has been delivered. We have also given a charge sheet in the name of the people of Gujarat to the BJP party that you have not performed on all these indicators, and that is where you are going to lose.
Quick right to reply, Devang.
Whenever now you take the word development, not just in Gujarat, in India, you immediately make it synonymous with Mr. Narendra Modi and the BJP government in Gujarat. And so the fact is that, and time and again, look at the by-elections that have taken place, look at the corporation elections, look at the panchayat elections, not just in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011. The people of Gujarat have once again, time and again, voted for Mr. Modi and the BJP government because of the work that is actually being done on the ground.
In 2009, it wasn't that clear-cut. In 2009,
well, that's the Lok Sabha election. That's a different ball game because you have national parties plying on national issues, on national position with separate leaders and separate. And there also we bettered the last time result by 1 seat. So we didn't do badly than the last time. We improved our tally.
What's different this time? Some feel that perhaps the Gujarat Parivartan Party could make a difference. Mr. Deepak Kirit, are you fighting this essentially, you think, to be able to take over from the BJP, or is it at the end of the day a spoiler role that you will be playing in 30-40 seats?
One thing I can say in simple word, that Aam Aadmi Ki Party, that is Gujarat Parivartan Party, and definitely I can say that we will play key role in this election. When Keshubhai was CM, I definitely I can say that whatever he has said, that he has proved and he has done. So this time also the people can trust in Keshubhai.
Dr. Iyengar, your sense of which way it is going?
No, there is some chink in the armor this time. I think it definitely shows, yes. I think there is some noise but the noise which will settle in which side is a different matter. But I think there are two decisive factors. One is, of course, the aspirations and the achievements for middle class. middle class has done this for last 10 years. And if middle class has a feeling that it's all good, there is a good feeling about it, and then I think the results hold. If the Aam Aadmi feels that in this government hamara kaam nahi ho raha hai, then the government goes, irrespective of the fact what charismatic leader you have at the top. This time it appears that there is a problem. This is one. The second point, and more important, is that there has not been power sharing, and the noise that we hear in the political arrangements that there is now a problem with power sharing, and therefore there are people now breaking out of the guild that was formed. So I think that I do see that there is a problem this time.
Siddharth Bhatt.
Ever since 1995, Congress doesn't seem to be visible. The Congress is not visible at all.
Okay. Hanif Lakrawala, let me see your views on this.
I think this is the toughest test that Modi is going to face this time. And apart from other factors which Dr. Sudarshan Iyengar has said, I think the poor people are quite disillusioned this time, because while interacting with them, we have realized that poor people are realizing that there is a lot of talk about development, which they think that development is without human face. It is more of a growth, and that growth only the sort of few people or a very small section of the Gujarat society has been the beneficiary of that, and poor people have been where they were, or maybe they are worse off than what they were 15 years back. So that huge chunk of poor people are going to play a very decisive role this time in the elections, and that's why I think the BJP is going to find it difficult to win very easily this time.
Mr. Bhatt, do you agree with that poor people are feeling they're not that well off?
Yes, partly yes, but I differ on one point. As you know, Gujarat is perhaps the only state with so much urbanization, and lots of industries are there, and lots of other industries are also coming up. If you look at the voter profile, say from age 18 to 40, the percentage of voters is 54.41%.
You are saying that the young voter will go towards Mr. Modi, perhaps because also he also takes these really high-tech measures to reach out to them, Twitter and Google
and
Plus,
Modi
Hangouts and all of that.
He is having influence over this younger generation.
It's not only the high-tech. I think this is, as I said, you see, this is a middle-class phenomena, and middle class is eating up on the rural resources. Now, rural areas are under severe stress, and some of it is going to manifest now, but some of it is going to manifest at least in next 10 years.
Dr. Iyengar saying that Narendra Modi is going to win elections for another 10 years, and then after that something might happen.
No, I am only saying the development discourse in this country and in this state is no different. The only difference is that how are you doing it? And this is more blatant, and this is more sort of a coercive way of usurping resources from the rural areas, including land, forests, people. There is a cash compensation which is being utilized and finished. Okay. The income flow of the financial capital is almost zero. I am worried about this. Roti is not a problem in Gujarat, but deprivation, relative deprivation is.
Okay. Devang, so let me come to you. Is there going to be this divide that in rural areas, in other places, among the poor, they're less happy than, let's say, the urban middle classes or the youth or the Twitterati?
Look, very frankly, what Professor Bhatt said is right, that the young voting population is definitely going to go for Mr. Modi's leadership under the BJP. It also is there is more urbanization. You're going to have almost 65% of the electorate, which is an urban electorate, which is definitely going to work in favor of the BJP. The resource problem for the rural areas that Professor Iyengar talks about is not entirely true. In fact, if you look at the poverty levels in Gujarat, the average below poverty line families living in Gujarat is 14% compared to a national average of...
You should know that 25% of Gujarat population is under the hunger index, and this calculation we don't do. This calculation is done by United Nations considering 4 variables.
Well, Professor Iyengar, sitting in Ahmedabad, Gujarat and India, I would go by the Indian government, Union government's own planning commission's own figures.
Devang, poverty poverty is not an issue. I said roti ki bhook nahi hai.
I appreciate. I have heard.
I am only saying that
Professor
let us
Iyengar,
remember.
with great respect, I am not debating with you. I am just trying to answer in my own way
I am
your
also
view.
trying to put across a point that if you are saying that poverty is an indicator, I am saying poverty is not an indicator.
Well, there are various indicators. That way, on prosperity index, Gujarat has done #1 in the
True,
country.
but
so what at the end of the day that shows? That shows satisfaction.
Devang, you can't have 25% undernutrition, hunger index of the Gujarat. It is not a replicable model. This is, and I must tell you that
we are not saying that. We are saying that this model doesn't need any improvement. I don't agree necessarily with the figures just because it comes from an UN agency.
Hold
we
on.
also have our own figures. Our government also have our own figures.
We are not disputing that.
If you actually look at some of the things, see, given the development that there is in Gujarat, given the levels of overall prosperity per capita, all of that is very clear. But I think, taking up from what Professor Iyengar said, some of the things that would be causing perhaps concern is, if you look at levels of infant mortality, if you look at levels of hunger, if you look at, for example, 62% of households below 2,700
Vikram, I agree,
calories
but
per day.
those are concerns. Those are concerns of governance, which this government is already taking care and will take further care. It is not a concern on which we are nervous on going to election, because our work shows that we have worked on these very issues. That's why Gujarat's agricultural growth in the last 10 years has been better than like never before. While the country grows at 2% on the agricultural side, Gujarat has shown 12% agricultural growth in the last 10 years.
Rural areas, the overall calorific intake
exactly.
at 1982 is lower than it was in 1972. This may be a problem in other parts of the country too, but I'm saying, I think what
look,
Professor
there will
Iyengar
always
is
be
saying
issues. It's obvious that Gujarat has a lot of work to be done. But the question is, what have this government done in the past 10 years? Has it done better than before? Has it made Gujarat a better place than it was before? Has Gujarat developed? And what are our plans and vision for the future?
Devang,
that's what you go on in an election.
Devang, let me come back to you on agriculture. Sorry to interrupt you. The agriculture growth rate which has been achieved is all for the commercial crops. We are short in our own food stocks.
Come on,
I'll tell you, I have calculations, and this is our own statistics.
You may have, but we also have calculations. We can't.
This is Gujarat government statistics. I am telling you that per capita food availability in Gujarat is slowly coming down. We don't secure food security, Gujarat is going to be in trouble.
Well, obviously there is going to be a difference between Professor Iyengar's model, which is based on the Gandhian principles here in Vidyapeeth, and the capitalist models that the government is going to be doing.
Thank you.
We are in the land of Mahatma Gandhi, but I don't deny that. But there are two views of looking at it. Those models may need some amalgamation, and there's a lot to be learning from you and a lot to learn from the capitalist world.
If I understand correctly, one of the reasons
just because we are frank, you don't need to mock us.
I agree.
I am sure. I mean, you have a model, I agree. But that model may not work in today's world. It has not worked for the past 50 years. If that model would have worked, India would not have been underdeveloped till now.
Devang, there is no issue
and that model had a place and time when we were fighting a foreign government who was exploiting us economically. That model has no place, with great respect, in the 21st century. And if Mahatma Gandhi was alive today, he would have changed that model. He would have adopted the 21st century way.
But he would have.
That is what it is. And this is the thinking. This is the thinking of that 50%, 54% electorate that Professor Bhatt talked about. And that's why Mr. Modi and Mr. BJP will win with 2/3 margins this time.
Vidyapeeth is not a carbon copy of Gandhi in 1920.
I am not criticizing the Vidyapeeth. I am not criticizing the Vidyapeeth.
Model.
I am talking of applying the model to the current situation.
Okay, Devang, this is the model.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.